Welcome to the Acupuncture Marketing School podcast. I'm your host, Michelle Grassick, and I'm here to help you get visible in your community, take marketing action with confidence, and get more patients in your practice and more money in your pocket every week. We both know you're a talented, passionate acupuncturist and that acupuncture has the power to change lives. So let's dive right into this episode and talk about how you can reach more patients. Welcome. I'm thrilled to have Clara Cohen with us today, a seasoned acupuncturist, educator, and the founder of AcuPro Academy, where she creates East Asian medicine and acupuncture content for practitioners worldwide. With over 10 years of experience teaching online and a combined 700,000 social media followers, Clara's passion for empowering acupuncturists shines through in her courses, books, and many free resources. In this episode, Clara shares valuable insights on the intersection of business skills and clinical expertise, why standard office procedures are key to success, and how to make social media and marketing work for you. We also dive into getting started with video, pricing on your website, and how to stand out online. So let's get into this episode with Clara. Today's episode is sponsored by my new online class, Grow Your Acupuncture Practice with AcuYoga, which is on sale for 20% off this week only. This strategy is one of the few marketing methods that pays you to promote your practice while getting in front of warm leads. You'll learn how to increase your visibility in your community, build trust naturally with people who are already interested in health and wellness, seamlessly transition attendees into paying patients, and form valuable partnerships with local yoga studios. This is a warm, community-centered marketing strategy that benefits everyone involved. Yoga studios love it because it offers a unique class experience for their students, so they're very likely to say yes to collaborating with you. This course includes a complete step-by-step strategy and marketing templates to bring in new patients from your AcuYoga classes. And right now, it's just $39 until February 25th. The discount code is already applied on the checkout page, and the link is in the show notes to sign up today. All right, let's get into this episode with Clara. Hello, Clara. How are you today?
I'm fantastic. I'm in Vancouver and it's sunny. It always rains in Vancouver, so when it's sunny, woohoo, it's a great day.
You're having a great day. Well, thank you so much for joining me again. This is your second time visiting the Acupuncture Marketing School podcast, and your original interview is one of the most popular episodes. So I will definitely put the link in the show notes in case anyone wants to listen to Clara's first interview. Before we dive in, I'll give you a chance to introduce yourself.
I'm Clara Cohen, and I have been practicing acupuncture since 2003 in Canada, beautiful British Columbia. And I also have been started teaching, I think, in 2008, future acupuncturist. I love teaching. I discovered a passion for teaching that I didn't know I had because I had an opportunity to start teaching. And so it went on and on. And then now I also have a platform online called AcuPro Academy. I also have a podcast now because I wanted to follow in your footsteps. And it's called the AcuPro Show. And we started in 2024. And I love it because I get to meet people and have conversation like you and I have, because you and I have known each other for so long because we met online. We've never met personally, but we've met on Instagram and totally connected because I love your authenticity and how you help people. So I'm super happy to be here because, what I do online is like you, is to help people, students and practitioners, to support them with, any kind of resources they need when it comes to Chinese medicine, while you support them in growing their practice, which is key to be able to use Chinese medicine to change lives. So I'm happy to be back, baby.
Absolutely. And one day we will meet in the real world, IRL. I can't wait for that day. Yeah, you have so many books and courses. I know I've taken one of your gynecology courses online, and you have just the cutest books. I love the graphics that you use. And you're so effervescent and authentic as well. So I really appreciate that about you. You're so enthusiastic. I think it's contagious.
It's my passion. I'm so passionate about, educating the world and supporting students and practitioners about Chinese medicine because it wasn't easy when we were in school. And when I was in school, there was no internet, there was nothing to support us. It was just books, which were, our only resources. But now we have people that can help us. And so I wanted to be part of that, that group of people that support so we don't feel alone. And I love the fact that online, you and I can reach people all over the world that may live in a small area where they have no support whatsoever. So if we can help, it's fantastic. Love it.
Yeah, the power of the internet, it truly never ceases to amaze me.
That's
really
how we
grateful.
met.
Yes, yeah.
See?
And one of the ways that you help people get exposed to you is through social media. And I think you have hands down the most comprehensive social media presence of anyone in our industry. You are on every social media platform, even the new ones. I just got on Blue Sky the other day just to see what it was about. And I put in hashtag Acupuncturist to see who's on here and who comes up first. Clara. So you are my one friend on Blue Sky right now. Thank you for that, by the way. And yeah, I would just love to talk about how you manage all of your social media, how you come up with all this incredible content. You are just a content creation miracle. And I know that you taught a masterclass on growing your social media following recently. So yeah, I guess we should start out by saying, what platforms are you on? Are you on 7 or 8 of them? More than that?
So my main ones that I post the most and publish the most is YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Those are the big 3. I started with Facebook. So you have to think that you have to start with one. Don't start trying to be everywhere. I think that's too hard if you're going to start. But I started with Facebook. And then, of course, Instagram came up. And so I kind of went back and forth, which is great because you can cross-post. So you don't have to go on both platforms. You can just post somewhere and it goes on both. So that helps a lot. And then I went on YouTube because I wanted to teach longer form videos. So I did that as well. And it's all under AcuPro Academy. And once I was on those 3, I was like, well, I might as well check out Twitter, which is now X. And then someone says, well, you can literally cross-post everywhere because there's now, software you can utilize to cross-post. You click a button and it goes everywhere. So now I'm on Pinterest. I'm on TikTok, which is my least favorite. I'm not a big TikTok person, but anyway, I'm there too. Like you said, Blue Sky. What else I'm on? Threads, LinkedIn. Pretty much, yeah, I think that's quite a few. You're right. It's probably 7 or 8. I'm not really sure, but it's like you click that button and it literally posts everywhere, and that helps a lot. So that just kind of gives us a way to connect to many people and to reach as many people as possible, because some people like one platform better than the other, and that's okay. And if they can get the education piece, then great.
Do you have anyone who helps you with your social media?
So I started this whole thing about almost 10 years ago, and I started with Facebook, like I said, and I did it all myself for 9 years. I did it all myself. And I posted every single day on Facebook since day one. I've missed 3 days once. In 2018, my 90-year-old mother passed away, and she was in France, and I live in Canada, so I had to fly as an emergency, of course. And so for 3 days, I didn't post. And I got so many DMs of people saying, are you okay? You've never missed a post. I'm here every day, because I always post at 6 p.m. every day, my time. And people were like, I'm here every day. You haven't posted in 3 days. Are you okay? What's going on? It was just like, I got literally after my mom's funeral, I was like, oh my goodness. So then I posted about my mom passing and how, she was an amazing woman, and I talked about her. So it was kind of like a tribute. And then people were really, really, nice about it and understood why I didn't post. And that was the only time that I did not post. So I've been very consistent. I know. But there's tricks to it. I repurpose a lot. I always say if you have 90 days worth of content, you have 2 years worth of content. You take those 90 days and you repurpose them over and over and over, because not everybody, as you know, can see our content. So I repurpose a lot. I schedule in advance, like when I did this by myself, I would schedule a month in advance, everything, so then I can leave it and I don't have to worry about it. You take 2 hours every month and you do your scheduling, and then that way, it saves you time. So I did that a lot. And then last year in 2024, or I should say in 2023, at the end of 2023, I wanted to start a podcast. I've been wanting to try to start a podcast for like 3 years, but I'm like, where am I going to find the time? A podcast, as you know, you have to record, schedule everything, edit the podcast, upload the podcast, put, a blog post, put all the information, if it goes on YouTube, which mine does. So all the description, all the hashtags, like it takes so much work. And so I thought, if I want to do this and be able to provide a podcast for my audience to have more places to connect, then I need some help. So for the first time last year in 2024, I hired someone, an assistant, to help me schedule everything, upload everything. And so I can really enjoy the part where we are talking like we are right now, and doing the fun part, and she can do all the nitty gritty, which takes a lot of time. So it's been such a great way to be able to provide more without feeling overwhelmed, because I have burned out before. Absolutely. Like a few years ago, I was ready to just, throw up the towel, because it was a lot too much work between having your practice, owning a wellness center, teaching at 2 colleges, and doing online. What was I thinking?
I don't know how you do it.
Oh my gosh, I don't have kids. Maybe that helps. But yeah, I had to kind of restructure everything and then ask for some help, which is so hard for me to do, because I could do it all myself. So yeah, so that's the little nutshell.
How did you find, she's a virtual assistant, or you know her in real life?
Yeah, so this is the cool part. It's someone I know in real life, because for many years, she was working with me in my clinic. And so I know how amazing she is. I know how detail-oriented she is. And then also she knows how I work. She knows about Chinese medicine. She's worked with me for many years. And so when I started looking, I was basically sending out to all friends, family, people I knew in my area, and say, if you know of anybody, it'd be great, because I'd rather have a referral from someone that knows someone than just put an ad and not have any kind of feedback. I love referrals. So, and then she actually said, well, I'd be interested. And I was like, oh, you would? That would be fantastic. And it's been so amazing, because it's so much easier when the person knows you and you know them. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, it's always fabulous to have someone who is in your time zone. I would say the number one complaint, by and large, I think VAs do really good work and it works out well. But the only complaint I've heard is if you have someone who's not in your time zone, it's just harder to coordinate things. But to have someone that you know in real life, it really is nice.
Yeah. You're absolutely right. And, it's great because she's not too far. So sometimes we have real meetings, like instead of Zoom, instead of Zoom, we have real, face to face. So it's kind of fun.
Yeah. And did she have any social media and podcasting training, or did you have to train her?
Yeah. So she did not have any podcast training. She had, she knew how to schedule things and stuff, but she didn't have a lot of social media. So really what I did is I trained her, but I also asked her to participate in conferences and learn. So she did Social Media Marketing World last February to learn really how to do this. She did a whole 2 days on I think it was PodFest, and it was online, so for podcasting. And she loves to learn. She just sent me something today and say, hey, there's a conference on emails and stuff, and do you want me to get and learn this? I'm like, if you want to do it, yeah, that sounds great. Go and do it.
Awesome.
So yeah, so she loves to grow and to learn, and so that's been really good as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of times when we imagine hiring someone, well, I'll say one of the things people tell me they're worried about is the time it will take to train them, right? So they're already at that kind of flashpoint where they feel very overwhelmed, and the thought of adding a person and training them is like, I don't know when I will do that. I'm already at my edge. So first I would say, think about hiring someone before you feel like you're going to implode, if at all possible, because I think we've all been there, right? And the other thing is, we can find people who already have training and we can just pass it off to them. Or if you want someone who is going to do things like just so, because I talk to a lot of people who also say, I'll never be able to find someone who is going to do things to my standards or the very particular way that I want them in my clinic or on my social. And my argument is you can find the right person for you. You can find someone who's as dedicated and nuanced and follows directions just the way you want them to, or you can find someone who's very independent, already knows what they're doing, and can just take your content and run with it. But it's just like, a little bit of internet research and then also understanding what you need, like how much you're willing to give up. But yeah, I do wish more people would ask for help, especially with social media, so it doesn't feel like such a burden, and then they can start to expand their reach in their community.
That's a great point. And I think when you said that, people are like, oh my gosh, it's going to take so much time. But remember that when we learned foundation theory of Chinese medicine and diagnosis, they told us that this is the foundation. So if you learn acupuncture points, but you don't have the foundation, you cannot help patients, right? So having the time or taking the time to train someone will save you a lot later on. Maybe at the beginning it feels like a lot, but it will save us so long. One of the things that I did is every time I did something, I would record myself doing it and talk it out loud. Then you have a video, right? And then that person can watch that video because you have to do it anyway. Oh, I have to do, okay, I'm scheduling. This is how I schedule. I click on the post and then I post this. Oh, and it's got a cross post on Instagram. So I put the hashtag, but Instagram cannot have links, but Facebook can. So I have to do it this way. Now you have a video and the person can just follow what you did.
Awesome. Such a good idea. I am in the process of putting together a standard office procedure manual for the office. I just have never had one before. And it's very similar, right? Like, okay, here I am sitting down doing the thing. I'm either going to record myself or just take notes. And then there it is. They can watch the video or they can see the notes typed up by AI. So yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah, and it's exactly it, because you have to think that if you depend on someone, which, eventually you do, if you have those SOP that you just mentioned, then if this person needs to take off because they have a baby or they're sick or something happened, then everything is there for somebody else and you don't have to train that person. You might have to spend, obviously, half an hour with them to kind of explain and ask if they have questions. Go look at those SOPs, go watch those videos, and then come back to me with questions. Apart from that, you should be up and going, at least for the minimum things that needs to be taken care of while we're trying to recover the time, right? So, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what we did. That's what we did in the clinic, right? We had SOPs. So if someone is sick and we need to bring somebody to do reception or whatever, we had an option to, okay, this is all our standard procedures.
And sometimes when I'm encouraging a practitioner to think about hiring, and we're talking about do they need a VA? Do they need someone in person? And they bring up this concept of, I'm very particular. It is hard to let go of control, right? This is very, very common thing that people bring up. They've been doing it by themselves for so long, they know how they like it done. And that's the beauty of SOPs is you get to write, I want you to answer the phone this way. I want you to schedule according to these guidelines. And then the person who's reading them is just going to follow your very particular instructions and do the task, right? And it sort of lifts that burden of worry off of you because you know that you've recorded it, right? So I think that helps people enormously be mentally prepared to pass off tasks to someone else.
I'm with you. I have a problem with giving up control. This is
Me
my
too.
personality. It's really hard because, and fair enough, is the person that you hire is the first contact and the face of who you are. So they represent you. So of course you want to make sure that, it goes as smooth as when you do it. I totally get that. But at the same time, you're absolutely right. If you tell them, this is how I always end up my email with this phrase. This is how I always ask questions to get more information and not just answer this email this way. This is how I answer this. You can have a whole bunch of little text that the person can literally copy and paste. right?
Yeah.
Like I will say online, it's very common that people come, and fair enough, I totally get it. They say to me, "Oh, I would love to buy one of your books, but it is out of my range for price wise." And I totally get it, right? So their request is, "Hey, could I have a discount? Can I get some discount on it?" And I understand that not everybody can afford it, but I have a little paragraph that I can copy and paste and that my assistant can copy and paste that is polite, but letting you know that I have over 500 YouTube videos that are completely free. I have daily posts on social media. I have a weekly podcast. I have free courses, free PDF, free treatments, so much free stuff. Enjoy all this, but I still need to really value my time and experience, so I do not discount my books. And people get it because it's polite and it tells you that I'm giving you a lot of free stuff. So enjoy it all, but I got to value my time and experience, and people get it. But it's all written because I get asked this, and we can just copy and paste. Because instead of having to rewrite every time, sorry, but this is what I do and this is what I give you, enjoy it all, but I don't discount the book. So it makes it so much easier. So when you have the same questions and over, just write the answers, and then you have a document that you just copy and paste all the same answers. I get asked all the time, "Oh my God, I love your content. Can you do a consultation online?" I don't do consultation online. I only do them in person. I don't want to do consultation online. So plus for my license, it's a little bit of a gray area. You can do consultation with people that you have had as patients, but not your patients, right?
Yeah.
So I have a whole thing explaining why I don't do it. My license, the fact that, I want to see people and touch them and palpate them and do the pulse and all that kind of stuff. So it's my decision, but we get asked that a lot. So then we have a reply that's standard, but that's polite and explain why. So yeah.
Oh, this brings up a question I'm so curious about. And that is, if you feel like your social media and your content, which is really geared towards acupuncturists and acupuncture students, and also just like the general public who are curious about East Asian medicine, does that help grow your brick and mortar practice? Like, do you feel like you get patients from the content that you're posting, even though it's not geared towards that?
So I don't think it helps because my platform online is worldwide and my brick and mortar is very specific to where I am, right?
Sure.
So what's interesting about this though is the reverse. Patients will follow me, right? They found me, they follow me. And then they come and they go, "Oh my gosh, I didn't know acupuncture could help insomnia. My cousin's been suffering for years." So yes, it does for referral purposes because a lot of my patients will follow me. However, I don't think I've ever had someone writing down on how did you found me social media, like as a new patient, right? So, but the reverse is it does educate your existing patients in thinking of who else that can help because they came for fertility and they didn't think of insomnia, or they came for pain and they didn't know that insomnia could help and acupuncture can help insomnia. So it definitely educates the world, and that's a really good thing because if I post something on Moxa and Breech Baby and it's for my students and for the students of the world of acupuncture, people that are not into or are not studying or are not practitioners may see this post, and now they may look for an acupuncturist for their sister that just got a breech baby news, right? And now that helps an acupuncturist. So if my post can ripple through and help the whole community, then I'm so happy.
It's a beautiful thing. Yeah, and I feel like it also must help build authority with your patients. When they stumble across your accounts, you have, 700,000 followers across social media? When people realize that and they see everything that you're teaching and you've published these books, I'm sure it just builds confidence, right? They'll feel like I'm in the right place. I'm so happy to be with this person.
Yeah, and if you are on social media, for people that are listening, think of this. If you are on social media in your area, because obviously you're gonna try to stay within your area, and you're gonna connect with people in your area, all other businesses, but also obviously become the authority in your area. Because if there are 3 acupuncturists around you and you're the only one on social media, you now are the authority. That's it. It's easy. Because people can see you, they can connect with you, they can relate to you. It might take them 7 videos or 7 reels or 7 times to see a post from you before they give you a call and say, I'd like to make an appointment. But that's the point. If the other 2 acupuncturists are not doing it, to be found or for them to be found will be much harder. And nowadays, with AI, if someone is looking, you are going to come up much faster if you have a social media presence than if you don't. 100%, because people are going to ask ChatGPT and all the AI, hey, I'm looking for, what happens during acupuncture? What exactly happens? What do acupuncturists do exactly? Blah, blah. Is there someone in my area that you would recommend? And if you are on social media and you have a website, you are going to be recommended by whatever, Perplexity, Gemini, Google, whatever, not Google, but Gemini or all the AI, much more than if you're not. So you got an advantage, especially in the world of we're going towards right now, right? So, yeah.
Yeah. And I see this played out with cosmetic acupuncture all the time, where a lot of people have learned cosmetic acupuncture and they put it on their website, and then they ask me why they never have cosmetic acupuncture patients. And the thing is, you have to talk about it, right? You have to let people know how it works, and it's repetitive. That's the nature of marketing. Over and over again, you have to keep talking about whatever specialty you really want people to come see you for. I live in this little rural community, and we have positioned ourselves as cosmetic acupuncture experts, mostly because we talk about it a lot, and nobody within an hour to 2 hours is talking about it. So they might do it. I know of a couple acupuncturists, it's on their website within an hour or so, but people come to us because when they're searching, we are who they find because we have all those keywords and we're talking about it constantly. So I really think it can be hard for people to accept this idea that they're going to be viewed as an expert. But if you sort of peel back that expert layer, no one's asking you to say, I'm so good at this, you should come see me, and not other people. It's just showing up and talking about it over and over again. The interpretation then from your audience is, oh, this person knows what they're talking about. They seem knowledgeable and good at this. So of course I would go see them compared to these other people who haven't brought it up at all. I know nothing about their knowledge or expertise, right? So you don't have to self-label yourself an expert. You don't have to ever say that word, but just keep showing up, keep talking about the things you love to treat. It really makes an impact in the digital world.
Absolutely. And, let's say you want to promote more cosmetic. You can start by making a video. Let's say you're on Instagram or Facebook and you want to do a reel. You could just start by, saying something like, what's the best thing to do for your skin? As we age, it starts to wrinkle and sag. Well, it comes from inside. So how are we going to make our skin look better on the outside? It comes from the inside. And we can give a couple of tips of, how diet, digestion, all this can help. So you could start having things around the aging system, and you can educate, and then in there you can put one that is, and did you know that if you don't want to try the Botox and all the unnatural way, there's a safe natural way to do this as well, which is acupuncture. A lot of people don't know that, but it's so much safer, it's natural, and the results are amazing. If you have any question, blah blah, and then you can continue to educate people about aging. And then now you become like you said, the cosmetic and aging person that everybody knows in the area that, okay, I want to know more. I want to try it out. Like, how many sessions do I need? Blah, blah. And you can make a reel on that. The next reel could be on, people ask all the time, how many sessions do I need for, cosmetic acupuncture? Well, let me answer, blah, 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 right? So I think that's exactly it. It's just providing information. It's kind of like when you say to a patient, okay, well, I'd like you to come, whatever, twice a week for the next little while, or weekly until we get to where we're trying to do. You give them information. They don't have to do it. Nobody has to do it. But it's information. If you don't tell them that, then they don't know when they're supposed to come back. They don't know the plan you have for them. So you explain the plan, you give them the information, and then they make the decision if they want to do this or not. It's the same thing. Give information about breech baby, cosmetic acupuncture, whatever we do that we can help patients with. And then they can actually have information. And with this information, they can decide what they want to do. So information is what you're doing. You're just educating. That's all you're doing. You're not marketing. You're just educating people. And then they can decide, right? That think of this that way. It's not a marketing, it's an education. Once you have knowledge, then you can decide.
I think that is such a helpful way of thinking about marketing because it takes a lot of pressure off to like make a sale that, we always imagine like that's what marketing should end in me enrolling someone in a course of treatment, or they have to make an appointment, or I failed at this marketing endeavor. But it really is empowering people with knowledge so that they're aware of all of their healthcare options and then releasing the outcome. Because maybe we write a blog post and then we repurpose that into a newsletter and Instagram and Facebook, and it's all about knee pain, osteoarthritis, and acupuncture. So now someone who's thinking about getting knee surgery has that information. They might still decide to get knee surgery. We have no control over that, right? But at least we made the effort and we helped empower them so they could make an informed decision. No matter what they choose, their decision is stronger because they had this information about this natural approach. And I think that the releasing it part really helps people to enjoy marketing more because now, okay, the information's out there. Things live in the digital world forever. People might find that post later. They also might pass the information on. Maybe they get knee surgery, but they share it with a friend who decides to come see you and postpone their knee surgery, see how it goes. And I know like everyone has thought of all of this, right? I'm sure all of these thoughts have gone through their head with marketing, but I just would love to emphasize for everyone listening that that is a viable way to do marketing and that it's okay to let go of that outcome. Just, empower people with knowledge, let that be your philosophy, do your best and see how it returns to you.
100%. 100%, because that's exactly it, right? I think that often we feel like, oh, I can't tell people to come every week because I feel like, ooh, it's like salesy, you're going to come every week, blah, blah. Well, if I'm going to see someone for fertility, and if I see you today and I don't say anything, how am I going to help you? So I'm not giving you the information to help you. You came for my help, right? And so for me, it's like, okay, well, the way I like to do it, is weekly. So you have a 4-week cycle. Your cycle is regular, which is fantastic. So let's do it on a weekly basis and then see how we readjust depending on how everything is going. But let's start with that because there's a 4-week cycle. So we can see each other every time your cycle is, going to the next phase. So to me, it's information. You can come back and say, oh, well, I can't do that. That's okay. But at least I gave you the information. And I think we have to remember that we are really trying to give people information, not selling them, because they didn't go to TCM school. They don't know all the stuff we know. So if we don't give them the information, they're going to go, okay, well, I guess I went once to acupuncture and it didn't help me. Yeah. Because nobody told them to come back. And now acupuncture comes out as, well, it doesn't really help a lot of people because, well, then we're disserving the community. We're not giving a good service, right? This is really not a good way of explaining how TCM works, which is one treatment. It's got to be really hard. It's not magic, even though it looks like it sometimes. It's not quite that magic. So, yeah.
Yeah. I'm really curious, what kind of content do you feel is the most effective on social media right now?
Nobody's going to like this answer because I'm going to say video.
Yes.
And people are like, I don't want to be on video. I don't want to put my face there. I don't look good. I don't know what to say. I feel so uncomfortable. Okay, so I know you might listen to this or watch it whatever way. Maybe you've never seen me anywhere, but I'm in my late 30s. I have a French accent. I don't have straight teeth. Like, who cares about all this, what you look like, if you're here to educate and give information, right? There are people, if you've listened to Mel Robbins, for example, Mel Robbins is the biggest podcast right now. She's everywhere. Anyway, you may like her or not like her. That's not the point. The point is, Mel Robbins is in her 50s. She has big, dark, black glasses. She looks just like you and me. But that's the thing. She's relatable. Everybody connects with her because she doesn't have a lot of makeup. She doesn't look, like she's this model. It's like the lady that you could talk to next door to you. And so you relate to her, and she's very relatable. So the point is, if you don't want to be on video, there's 3 things to do. First, record yourself 30 seconds every single day on your phone. Do a video, like a vertical video, on your phone every single day for 30 days. Maybe 30 seconds to a minute. And then delete them all. Doesn't matter. You don't have to post them. The more you practice, the better you become. So practice, practice, practice. The second thing is, you can start by making a video where you don't speak. You put some music background, and you're there maybe in your clinic, you're cleaning up, you're making whatever, you're making the treatment table back, but you put some text on the screen explaining something, educating, telling people about whatever subject you're trying to explain or educate about. So that's the first one. You don't have to talk, right? No matter what, you have to put your face in there, and eventually you're gonna have to talk, because that's how people relate to you. So I've seen accounts where it's a big pet peeve of mine. I've seen Instagram account where it's a beautiful name for the clinic. It's beautiful. There's a beautiful logo, and then there's a bunch of posts. I don't know who this person is. There is no pictures of them. There is no videos of them. I don't know if it's someone that is 70 years old, if it's someone that's 22. I don't know anything about them. And so I click and I go on the link because I like to be kind of looking at it. And then I go there, and there's their bio with the beautiful pictures of trees telling you about this person. And half of the time it doesn't even have their name. And I'm like, well, how are people connected with you? So you have to remember that people connect to people. So you may have a beautiful name in your company, but you need to show up. Your face has to be there. Put a picture, introduce yourself. Start with just a picture and say who you are, what you love to do, what is it you do, why you're doing what you're doing. But eventually you have to do videos. So when I first started in videos, it was horrible. I looked horrible. I sounded horrible. I looked like a robot. I didn't know what I was doing. I was speaking so slow, like literally not natural at all. So, but that's the thing. People say, oh my God, you're so natural on video. Well, first of all, when I record a video, even 10 years later, it's very funny. My husband's downstairs, and I hear him laugh so loud because I'll be, did you know that when your eye is twitching? No. Okay. Did you know when your eye is twitching? No. And then he's laughing because I'm doing this 10 times before I'm happy with it. So
me too.
After, right? All those
Yes.
years, you're not going to be perfect. You're still going to have to redo it. Hey, people have been actors in movies for years and years and years, and they're doing 70 takes, right? So if we could do it in 3 to 4 or 5, this is a win, right? So.
Yes.
So don't be so harsh on yourself. And just, sometimes it's easy. Just say one sentence and then you're done. You could just practice it, and then you record that sentence, and then you could say explanation or more below. And then they can read the rest. You don't have to say a lot, right? So make it easy on yourself, but you gotta have to show who you are, and you're gonna have to do videos. And when I first started doing videos on acupuncture points, look at what other people do and what resonates, and do the same thing but in your own way. For example, a lot of us online now will show a point on an area, let's say heart 7, and then you're showing heart 7, and then there'll be music and it says, this is the best point for insomnia, or suffering from insomnia, this is the acupoint, there's an acupoint for that. That's all you have to do. You can just literally show something, and then you can explain more below and tell people that, when we treat people for insomnia, we obviously ask a lot of questions because everybody is different. This is one of the points, but we do a whole consultation treating the person as a whole, including this point. And now you educate the patients or potential patients that, we treat a person as a whole. And in the meantime, this is a great point. Maybe they'll go and acupressure it before they go to bed tonight, and, think of how you help them. So that's literally how you can do it without feeling too much like, I don't want to be online. If you want people to be educated and you want people to come and relate to you, you're going to have to be on video.
Yeah, I find it really helps people make a connection when they see pictures of your face or video. It's like we're social animals, right? I want to put my eyeballs on your eyeballs and decide in that moment if I trust you, even if it's not face to face. And I've been doing these really fun marketing breakthrough sessions where people will send me all their links. It was similar to what we were talking about before the show, but I'll record a video for them where I'll go through their website and their social media and then I'll send it to them. And I always notice, and this has been for like 5 or 6 years that I have been reviewing people's Instagram accounts in particular, that the posts where they show their face get 3 times more likes than the other posts. People are honestly just happy to see you, right? They're like, oh, wow, that's who that person is. I had no idea. You mentioned one of your pet peeves is not having a face on the Instagram, and then you go to their website and there's no face on the about page and no name. I just want to point out, I have also noticed that. And what I've discovered is people don't even realize that they have accidentally eliminated themselves from their digital marketing. So I'll always say, on your about page, you don't have your name anywhere. You really have to put your name because they want to know who is this person who's going to put needles in me. They need some sort of anchor, right, to hinge that concept on. And of course, it's ideal if your photo is on the page. But yes, yeah, it's like oddly maddening. The other thing that I found is people do not put their location anywhere. To be on an entire website and to realize that their address is on one obscure page. And again, people are not doing this on purpose, right? But you have to visit your social media and visit your website from the perspective of someone who's never had acupuncture, who does not know anything about you, your business. They don't have a referral. They don't have a connection. And just review it as a stranger and say, would I understand enough about how this person can help me? And also where they're located and what things cost that I would be prepared to make an appointment. Because people need information to make a decision. They've got to be able to imagine themselves in that space with you. And the more information you can give them, the easier that is. I do have one random question for you. I was speaking with another acupuncturist today about whether it's a good idea to put your prices on your website. I'm so curious what you think.
So it's a great question because when you were talking about people want to know, how much it's going to cost them and everything else. So here's the thing. When it comes to the website, I think one of the things that's important is what you just pointed. In the about, people are going to they're interested in 3 things when they come to your website. Who you are, can you help them, and how much it's going to cost. Yeah. Because finance is finance, people. It depends on how much their extended health can cover or whatnot. So here's the thing. They want to know who you are. You have to put a picture. You have, for the longest time, I had a picture with me and my dog. And I had people coming to see me and say, oh my God, I love Labradors. I saw that pictures of you I was in. It could be the littlest thing, right? It could be you hold the guitar because you like to play music. People that are musicians are going to love it. They're going to want to call you.
They're going to connect that much more deeply. Yeah.
Yes. So, you may hold a purple mug and they love purple, whatever. But the point is you need a picture of yourself and you need to explain who you are with your name. You're absolutely right. The second one is can you help them? And that's usually on your homepage, what acupuncture can do, its education, etc. The third one is how much is it going to cost them? So I don't like it when there's no prices. I do want to be transparent and authentic for 2 reasons. So this is my point of view. When someone comes and there's no prices, it's going to waste a lot of people's time. They might send you an email or call, because they're not going to book yet, to know how much it's going to cost them. So now you have to answer that email or someone has to answer the call and tell them how much it's going to cost. Eventually, they're going to find out. They might not do that. They might say, you know what, I'm going to book an appointment. They book an appointment, they come in, we do a fabulous time, and then they get to pay and you say it's so much and their jaw drops because that's not what they were expecting. Maybe they were expecting less. We don't know that, right? People don't know. If they don't know, they don't know. They may have a price in their head and now they're all upset. And so all the work we just did for an hour just went out the door because now they're upset about the fact that it's a surprise that they were not expecting. So for me, it's better to say, okay, well, this is how much it's going to cost. And I understand not everybody can afford it. But can you imagine, okay, I'm going to a store and I look at this jacket and it's a beautiful jacket. I'm like, oh, wow. What do most of us do? We look for the price tag and we look at the jacket, right? Now, let's say I'm like, there's no price tag and this is the new way of doing things. So I put it on. I'm like, oh, I look so good. This really fits me well. The color is great. Great. I go to the front. I put it down. I'm like, okay. And then she says it's $370. I walk out. And now I'm even upset because I really, really liked it. But I'm not going to pay $300 some for this jacket because that's where my budget is. So for me, it's better to put your price so everybody knows in advance. It's called transparency. And I think patients or potential patients appreciate the transparency. But in your price, show them all the stuff you include. It includes the consultation, the treatment, whatever. Like if you're doing cupping and moxa and whatever it is, we'll talk about nutrition. We'll make a treatment plan. Like show that all this, you get a lot for it. Really explain what is this amount for, right? And that makes it also a better way to explain to people, yes, we're spending this time to do this for you to help you out. But I personally think that if there's no price, I little click and look for somebody that will actually give me their price. So.
Yeah, that's the experience I find most people have is if first of all, people are shopping around to begin with. They're doing research on the internet. That's what we do. And so they're looking at local acupuncturists and thinking, who might be a good fit for me based on, does their website mention my symptom? Do I read a little bit about this person. I might be comfortable talking to them about my symptom. But they're also going to compare, wow, this person's much more expensive. This person's in the mid-range. And maybe just because someone's more expensive doesn't mean they won't choose them. They could be a great fit, but they just need to know what they're getting into. I mean, I would never, ever make an appointment with someone through their online schedule if I did not know the price. I can't imagine really that anyone would. And so that does require me to contact all of these different places that I'm considering. And in my head, I'm like creating a spreadsheet of like, okay, this person, this. Really, it's just, I think it is easier and more efficient if your prices are just on there. And that has always been my perspective. I agree with you. I know there are some people who feel they're gonna scare people away with pricing, but what I've learned over the years in digital marketing in particular is you really, really want to think about how you can reduce the steps that a person has to take in order to make an appointment with you. Because every time you ask them to look for something, search for it, like where's the book now button? Should I do a free consult or should I just book? How much is it? Like everything you're asking them to research is an extra step that potentially distracts them. And I always say this, they're going to end up on YouTube watching cats in sweaters for 30 minutes and forget their intention. So yeah, I think it's helpful for sure to have that on there. I mean, we are also very clear on my clinic website, like we don't take insurance, because I agree with you, there's nothing more uncomfortable than someone coming to the office, they get a whole treatment, and at the end they ask, hey, do you take XYZ? Do you take Excelis? And you're like, oh, nope, we don't. We don't take any insurance. Right? So the more transparent, as you said, upfront you can be, just the smoother and happier the whole process tends to be.
Absolutely. When it comes to the price, when people think, oh yeah, but I'm more expensive, you have to think that everybody is different. Some people think if you're more expensive, you have probably better knowledge and you know more. Yeah, everybody thinks possibly differently, right? Some people may think that. Now, I've had people coming in and saying, I really want to come back, on a weekly basis, but it's a lot for me because, the price, right? And I go, I totally get it. You know what? There is a community acupuncture, just a few blocks away. Their price scaling is between 25 to 45. You could do that. And then the person will look at me and go, yeah, no, I like the private treatment better, yes. So I'm going to stick to it. So you give them options, right? Yep. And then they show that they could pay less, but then maybe paying more also gives them more as well. And we all been there where we're like, oh, if this is only like $2, maybe it's probably cheap and not that great. But the
Yes.
$10 item, oh, that must be better quality. Well, people look at your price, they might think your quality is better. It may be true or not, but everybody has a different mindset. So putting your price won't change the outcome except you're authentic and people have the knowledge and nobody gets upset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's definitely true what you said about sometimes people will see a high price and assume that is the best option. And when it comes to healthcare, if people have that money to invest, sometimes their thought process is, I just want to feel better as fast as possible. So I want to pick the person who to me seems the most knowledgeable with their experience. And sometimes that is what a higher price point means for those people. So pick a price point, right? And then tell people with confidence, and the people who are right for that price point, they will meet you there, no matter what it is.
Absolutely. I mean, people that do cosmetic acupuncture charge more than regular acupuncture because they have more training. And so people that are looking for cosmetic acupuncture have no problem paying more than a regular acupuncture because to them, the value is more important than anything else. It's valuable because they want this cosmetic acupuncture because it's cheaper than Botox. So now you're comparing cosmetic versus Botox, so it doesn't matter really. Just be authentic.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for being here. I have one last question for you, and I know I asked you last time, but I also realize people's answers can change. So I would love to know, what is your definition of success?
And you're right, things can change. For me, what I'm passionate about is the journey. So for me, the definition, sorry, say that again. For me, the definition, I can't say that word apparently. See, this is the problem when you're online. The definition of success is not focusing on the outcome and the goal, but focusing on the journey, because the fun part is the journey. The learning part is the journey. The growth is the journey. And that's the best part. The outcome will take care of itself from the enjoyment of the journey. And that to me is success.
I love that the outcome will take care of itself. Well, thank you so much again. Where can everyone find you online? Where can they connect with you?
Well, I'm at AcuPro, Acupuncture Professional, AcuPro. AcuProAcademy.com is my website. Tons of free resources there. But on social media, I'm at AcuPro Academy everywhere. So that's the handle.
Perfect. Thank you again.
And you're very welcome. And if anybody had questions or they want to DM me and they have more questions, feel free. I'm here to help as well. I'm like Michelle. If I could spread the love of TCM and support everybody that's, a TCM rock stars, like I call them in my community, then I'm here for it. So thank you for having me, Michelle, and for continuing to do your podcast, for helping really everyone grow their practice so in turn they can change patients' lives. One patient at a time. That's all we're here for.
Oh, thank you. And thank you for the exact same thing with all the work that you do. If you're looking for a community-centered, relationship-building marketing strategy to grow your practice, AcuYoga is a great choice. You'll connect with people in your community who are already invested in health and wellness, building trust through this in-person experience. In this new class, I show you how to turn an AcuYoga event into a full marketing strategy, including my ready-to-use templates. The class is on sale for just $39 this week, which is 20% off. The link is in the show notes to learn more and register. Thanks so much for being here. Talk to you soon.